If somebody came up to me and asked me, Tyler, what is the best schedule for someone who is working 9 to 5, who is experiencing low mood, low energy, low libido, and who wants to change all of that? I would lay out this exact foundation right here. And the very first thing you have to understand is that your routines, your habits, and what you do on an every single day basis is going to make up the result that you are going to get. So no matter what type of crazy routine or what type of thing that you're doing right now, whatever it is, if it's not getting you the result, you have to change it. You got to change what you do on an every single day basis so you can get a different result. And this is the easiest and most plug-and-play schedule that I would give anybody who is working 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 7 to 4, whatever schedule. In this video today, I'm going to give you an exact schedule that you can copy and plug into your daily life. This will ensure you get the right amount of sleep, eat the right meals, and have enough time to do the things that you truly want to do in life. Without further ado, my name is Tyler James. I'm an online fitness coach in Austin, Texas, and this is the exact schedule that I would recommend someone in a 9 to 5 who is low energy, low mood, low libido, who wants to fix all of those things. The number one most important thing and the foundation to every single thing that you do is going to be your sleep. Sleep is the first thing that I had to put on here because this is the reason why people experience low energy, low mood, low libido. They make bad choices. They have no willpower. It is because they lack sleep. Sleep is literally the foundation to all human beings, and this is when you are going to produce the most testosterone. Your testosterone is produced during deep and REM sleep. So if you are not getting deep or REM sleep and you're not sleeping for at least 8 hours a night, guess what is going to happen? Your energy is going to be off, your mood is going to be off, your libido is going to be off, you're going to be waking up with a flabby tabby, and it is just not going to be fun. So the very first thing you got to do is set aside about 8 to 8.5 hours every single night for you to go to bed. So if you work at 8, you got to be up by 7. Go to bed at 10:30, right? Go to bed at 10:30, start winding down at 10:30 at the latest, and make sure you are sleeping for at least 8 hours, okay? And then additionally, you want to be sleeping in a cold and dark room, okay? A cold and dark room at about 65 degrees, that is the most optimal temperature that you can sleep in order to produce testosterone. You want to be sleeping in a cold room because if the room is hot, your balls are going to be uncomfortable, you're not going to get deep, you're not going to get REM sleep. Recently, my AC was broken just about like a week or two ago, and I was sleeping one night in 85-degree weather, and I did not even sleep. I wasn't even sleeping. I didn't get 1 minute of fucking sleep because the AC was broken. So you guys have to understand that if you're sleeping in a room that's like 75, 80, 85 degrees, your sleep is going to be cooked. Your sleep is going to be cooked, and you need to get an AC, get multiple fans, whatever it takes to get this down to 65. I even bought a thermometer right here to be able to tell me what degrees I'm sleeping in every single night. So if I need to crank the AC down a couple more notches, so be it, okay? And then the other thing you want to do is make sure it's completely dark. Not a single light should be on. No lights, none of those small lights, no night light, none of those bullshit. And then make sure you are off your phone 30 minutes before bed. I would write that down, but I don't really have room. Be off your phone and don't get any blue light 30 minutes before bed. If you are scrolling before bed, what that is going to do is going to suppress your melatonin production. And that is another factor in you sleeping deeper and sleeping harder throughout the night is your melatonin. And if you are not producing and secreting melatonin, ultimately what is going to happen is that you are not going to get that deep in REM sleep. So you're not going to wake up refreshed. You're not going to wake up with a hard on, and you're going to be feeling like, why do I feel off? It's because you are scrolling on your phone and getting a bunch of blue light right before bed. So make sure you're sleeping in a cold and dark room, off your phone 30 minutes before bed. That is the first thing and the most important thing to get right. It's the foundation. It's the most important thing. Don't be thinking you can go 5 hours, 6 hours. If you sleep 5 hours regularly for a week straight, you will lower your testosterone by 10 to 15%. So make sure you are sleeping at least 8 hours a night and in a cold and dark room at 65 degrees. Now, the very next thing, obviously, you're going to go to your job. So between 7 and 8, I'm sure you guys are going to have to get ready. You're going to have to commute, whatever the case may be. It shouldn't take you that long to get ready and go to work. 7 to 8, simple. 8 to 5, that is when you're working. And make sure when you're at work, you're trying to stand up when you're at your desk, moving around a little bit. Don't sit right under a fluorescent light. If you are just staring at your screen right under a fluorescent light, sitting all day, that is going to kill your energy. And you got to make sure you're moving around, you're going for walks, different types of things, right? Getting morning sunlight, right? If you have to take a 10-minute break to get morning sunlight, do that in the morning. Make sure you are doing that because that is one of the best things that I started to do at my work. Step away from your desk for 5 minutes, get a little bit of sunlight, and make sure you are resetting your circadian rhythm. That is what it's all about. If you get morning sunlight every single morning, you are going to reset your circadian rhythm, which is going to give you better overall quality of sleep. Specifically before 9 a.m., make sure you get out into the sun, put the sun directly into your eyes, close your eyes and look at the sun, and do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you are going to reset your circadian rhythm, okay? So that's the one thing I would say that you do while you're at work. Make sure you stand up a little bit, you're moving around a little bit, not under a fluorescent light. You can get blue light blocking glasses, but I don't really think they do a whole lot when you're at work. So just make sure you get that morning sun. And then the other thing, 12 to 1, this is going to be your lunch break. So make sure you're eating your lunch, high protein lunch, okay? You want a high protein lunch and then a digestion walk outside after, okay? Also, if you can eat without a screen, I know it's so popular nowadays for everyone to be at work and to just be like this while they're working, right? Make sure you are getting your lunch and going for a little digestion walk and getting off the screen. You don't need to be staring at a screen on your phone scrolling while you eat your lunch. You're not even going to remember what your meal tasted like, and your overall quality of food is going to go down, and your ability to even digest it will go down because you are not paying attention to what you are doing. If you are present and alive while you're eating, I guarantee you, you will digest your food way better. And then if you also go on a digestion walk right after, get outside, get in nature, decompress from the office a little bit, that is one of the best things you can do. I'm sure there's a little path, I'm sure there's a little walkway that you can take when you are done with your lunch that you can go do for 10 minutes, right? If you do a digestion walk, it's one of the best things that you can do. It's the most underrated habit in my opinion, right? You're getting outside, you're getting vitamin D, you're also digesting your food faster so you can go back to work and do better work quicker. And then additionally, you are also lowering your blood sugar, so you're stabilizing yourself, and you are just gonna feel way better. If you just sat on your ass right after eating a big meal, you are not gonna have any energy and you are gonna feel off. So make sure you do a quick digestion walk and then eat a high protein diet. And we're gonna talk more about that later, okay? Next thing, 5 to 7 after work is going to be gym, right? You wanna be working out 4 to 5 times a week, okay? I find this to be the sweet spot for guys in their 20s. 4 to 5 times a week is a sweet spot because you don't want to be going 6 to 7 times a week. You're going to raise your cortisol. You're going to be doing too much. Your sleep is going to be a little bit off because of that, especially if you are heavy resistance training every single day. Just make sure you're in there 4 to 5 times a week. You go in there, you get a good lift, you go hard, you hit your chest, you hit heavy compound movements, and your testosterone will increase, and then additionally, you're gonna give your body enough time to rest and recover. Previously, I was working out 6 days a week, sometimes even 7 days a week, thinking that doing more would get me a better result. Actually, it just caused me to have lower testosterone, and so now I changed my training to just 5 days a week so I can be able to get 2 full rest days a week. I might even go down to 4 days a week at some point, but right now, 4 to 5 days a week is really the sweet spot. And make sure you guys, when you go to the gym, you're doing heavy compound movements, okay? I just put 5 to 7 in there additionally because that gives you a little commute buffer, commute there, commute home. You do not want to be in the gym for 2 hours. Make sure you're in there for 75 minutes max. I just put this 5 to 7 as a little bit of a buffer for you to commute to the gym or whatever you need to do, commute back, all of that different type of stuff. Okay, so 5 to 7, go to the gym and make sure you're going there 4 to 5 times a week. Heavy compound movements. Heavy compound movements will force your endocrine system to work harder, which will enable you to produce more testosterone. So this is another thing that you want to be doing. Heavy compound movements 4 to 5 times a week to be able to increase your testosterone and the overall way you feel on a daily basis. Now at 7 o'clock, you're going to come home and you're going to meal prep, right? I would recommend you guys, and this is what I started doing. I started meal prepping on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just to be able to still have some fresh cooked meals. But then also to give myself more time on Tuesday and Thursday to be able to go to the gym, to be able to do whatever that I need to do in order to improve myself and in order to grow my business or whatever the case may be, right? Give yourself some more time by meal prepping 3 days out of the week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that is when I meal prep, and that is when I recommend you guys to meal prep as well. And when you meal prep, you want to be meal prepping all of these foods right here. Ground beef, eggs, rice, fruits. Keep it simple, right? Don't do anything too crazy. If you do these foods every single day, you lift 4 or 5 times a week, you sleep 8 hours in a cold and dark room every single night, you are gonna get jacked, you are gonna be high test, and you are gonna be shredded. Now you have the whole entire day mapped out perfectly for you. When you're gonna sleep, when you're gonna eat, what time you go to work, what time you take lunch, when you go to the gym, what kind of foods you need to be eating. All of those things are mapped out right and perfectly for you, but what do you need to do for the last 2 hours of the day? What do you do for the last 2 hours of the night? And this can honestly make or break your future. If you're working 9 to 5, maybe you love it. Maybe you're gonna do it for the rest of your life. Maybe there's nothing else you would rather do with your life, and I commend you for that. But for a lot of people who work 9 to 5, it's not the end all be all for them. It's just a paycheck and it's just something to get them by. So for the last 2.5 hours of the day, you should be working on some type of business, some type of side hustle that you can do in order to get out of that 9 to 5 and truly live your life of freedom and find your purpose in the thing that you want to do. So no matter what it is, whether it's art, whether it's writing, whether it's music, whether it's creating content, whether it's YouTube, anything that you truly want to do in your life, this is the time slot for the last 2 hours of the day for you to do it. Even though it is the last 2 hours of the day and you might be tired, you might not have the energy, this is when you got to have some discipline and mental fortitude and push through, because this is your future. What you want to do truly with your life is going to determine these last 2 hours. All of this stuff right here is very important for you to get in great shape, for you to have more energy, but this is almost more important because this is what is going to get you out of that 9 to 5 position that you are currently in. So you got to use this time sacredly to be able to do the things that you need to do in order to get to the next level, right? And a lot of you guys, you can throw this time in for days that you don't go to the gym, or days when you might have time during work if you work from home, whatever the case may be. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't want to be working a job for the rest of your life. And so this is the time for you to work on your business and for you to work on your side hustle. Again, I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know it's the last 2 hours of the day. I know you're tired. I know you have mental objections, but no excuses. The work either gets done or it doesn't. And this was the exact thing that I was going through today, right? First day back in the office of the week, I was a little tired. I was a little drained when I got home, but I still got up, I still filmed this video, I'm still gonna edit it, and I'm still gonna post it. You just gotta overcome those thoughts, feelings, and emotions and do what needs to get done. And this is a great challenge for you to see what kind of mental resolve you have and to see how you can overcome those challenges. Make sure 30 minutes before bed, you're off your phone, okay? Off your phone, and you're reading, writing, taking a warm shower. Okay, doing this before bed is gonna allow your mind and allow your body to relax, to lower your cortisol so you can go to sleep right away. The best thing that I've always done ever since I started doing this type of stuff is that 30 minutes before bed, I would get off my phone, I would turn off basically all of the lights except one light by my bed, and I would just read and then until I basically passed out. Right, that is what I do every single night before bed. And if you do that every single night before bed, you are gonna feel so much better, so much refreshed in the morning, because the first thing you do is you fall asleep, right? Right when you're reading before bed, you fall asleep right away. And then additionally, you are training your attention span to get longer. So you can be able to work on your business, so you can be able to go to the gym, so you can be able to eat your lunch and go for a digestion walk and not need your phone, right? Reading books is going to train your attention span, and it's literally going to cure your brain in real time, because you have to focus. You have to focus when you read. You can't slack off. You can't be thinking about other things, or else, oh shit, you got to go back to your page, got to reread the section, and it's annoying, and all of those different type of things. So make sure you guys are reading right before bed, because that is going to literally put you right to sleep. Right? It's the best way to fall asleep right away. You're not getting any blue light. You're learning something that is probably going to be productive, or whatever the case may be, so you can sleep on it and think about it when you go to bed. All of those different type of stuff is the best way to fall asleep. So make sure 30 minutes before bed, you are off your phone, you are reading, you are just chilling, you are relaxing, no blue light before bed, okay? So this is the exact protocol and the exact schedule that I would recommend for you guys if you have low energy, low mood, low libido, and you want to fix that. Now, it's not gonna happen overnight, but day after day, if you continue to do the right things, you are gonna get to where you need to go, especially if you are focused and locked in and consistent every single day. You're not drinking, you're not doing any bullshit, nothing like that. You're gonna feel your best and you're gonna have great energy. With that being said, it is your man, Tyler James. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I post every single Wednesday and every single Saturday, every single week, and make sure you guys subscribe for more content just like this about improving your energy, improving your physique, and the way you feel on a daily basis, especially if you are working 9 to 5. And I will see you guys on the next video.